sugar bleeding desert heat. Red on my knuckle, dust on my feet. I may got buried deep down, but damn, that curse still circles this town. I said, boy, you ain't falling, you're just being weak. Grow something fierce from the wounds you made. No roots, no soil, just black sand shaking. But even a cursed flower knows what it's making. I bloom red where no man stands, a blood flower growing in black sand. If the world won't hold me, I'll rise unplanned. I need soil, hell, I grow from the wound I am. Yeah, I bleed, but I don't break clean. There's a prize of living like a living machine. A storm on fire. She kissed my scars, called me liar. Said faith ain't soft, it's a blade you choose. I said then cut me deeper so I don't lose. I burned my cross till the chain turned black. Buried it so I wouldn't cry. I ain't praying for mercy, mercy comes late. I just wanna grow straight from the hand of fate. I bloom red where no man stands, a blood flower rising through cursed sand. If the world denies me, I still expand. A thornborn soul with a dead man's brand. No roots, no home, but I still push through. 'Cause a wounded heart learns to bloom on cue.
I cracked that mirror with a whiskey glass. My own reflection blinked, then laughed back fast. Blood on the sink, towel cold on my knees. A face like mine, but begging me please. I said you ain't the man who held the line. You just wore my guilt like a badge that shines. I ain't scared of truth, just how it shatters. But even broken, a mirror still matters. You see clearer when you're cracked, when the lies fall off like paint from black. I ain't whole, but I ain't fake. This new face, it's one I made. I bled on glass, then wiped it clean. Now I wear the scars where the mask had been. Oh. Once kissed a girl in a wedding dress, but she smelled like smoke and her vow was stress. Preacher said, son, salvation's a road. I said, then why is it paved with blood and cold? cross round my neck, turned red in heat. I buried it deep underneath my feet. I ain't here to be forgiven, I ain't here to plead. I'm just learning how to live with what I used to need. You see clearer when you're cracked, when the lies fall back and the truth attacks. This mirror broke, but it showed me whole. A patchwork man with a tarnished soul. I ain't proud, but I'm standing still, and sometimes that's the damn miracle. You stood out there where the headstones lean, posed deep in dirt, coat soaked in gasoline. Wind scraped your face like the voice of your dad, saying dead men don't lie, they just speak real bad. Speak real bad. Name half gone, rain eating the storm, but you trace those letters like they was your own. You asked, was it like me? Wild, mean, and hollow. The grave didn't answer, but you still chose to follow. Dead names still preach, even if the stone don't speak. You walk through fire, through blame and sin, but it's the grave that taught your soul to begin. You ain't saved, you ain't clean, but damn if you don't stand where the ghosts have been. Left a letter folded in blood, wrote to a brother buried in mud. I got your sins stitched inside my skin. You broke so I never got to be again. You lit a match, dropped it in prayer. Ashes dance like they knew despair. You whispered, if I fall, let it be real slow, so I can hear if the dead still know. Dead names still preach, even when the tongue's out of reach. You wore that guilt like a second skin, but the grave said lose and learn to begin. You ain't whole, you ain't crowned, but you're still walking, and that's loud enough now. I lay still 3 monsoon seasons long, rain chewing through my bones like a slow rain song. They left me under a bent tin roof, blood dry brown boots unlaced, no proof. I wasn't waiting to live, I wasn't ready to die, but something in that silence still knew how to cry. Then thunder cried through the bones of my knees. just like a roadside.
It's raps to the heartbeat once, then twice, with the sound of change, not something nice. I ain't holy, but I woke up down. If thunder wakes you, stay awake, man. Saw my shadow walk before I could stand, like it remembered sins I forgot with my hand. Met a preacher once, gave me a book to burn, said ain't no life without pain you earn. I kissed a ghost by the border of hell. She said love don't save, but it sure can sell. Hey, thunder crack through the spine of the past, and my rusted heart beat loud at last. Every clang of vow, every jolt of calls. I ain't found heaven, but I found what I lost. I ain't praying, I just breathe in flame. If thunder wakes you, don't sleep the same.
They broke me down in that red clay yard, where mercy don't go when the nights hit hard. I wore my pain like a second skin, drank, smoked, bit iron, kept the tremor in.
Low shot, rain on chains, my hands twitching like they're keeping time.
A preacher said, boy, you're cursed with pride. I said, hell, that's fine. It kept me alive. Every crack in me still sings on cue. When the thunder hits, it remembers you. I ain't straight no more, but I still got grace. 'Cause grace is just pain with a beat to chase. You can break my bones, they'll still find a stance. 'Cause a sinner don't heal, he learns to dance. Every scar I've got keeps time in the dark, burns like rhythm carved into a mark. She said you move like a ghost that forgot how to fall. I said, baby, I fell, just learn to crawl.
My ribs hum low, my heart drums slow,
And my sins all waltz where the blood still flows.
Hand held close up, her hand traces my scar. Candlelight flickers like applause.
I dance with the devil, stepped on grace, left footprints burned in the holy place.
ain't no shame, just proof I tried.
Even broken bones can't keep us stride. I ain't straight no more, but I still got grace. 'Cause grace is just pain with a breeze to chase. You can snap my fate, I'll still take that chance. 'Cause a sinner don't heal, he learns to dance. Every fall I took became my spark. kept my beat in the dust.
Low pan up, dust on fades. Shadow spins once under dying neon light.
Slow pan up, dust on face. Shadow spins once in the dying neon light. Slow pan up, dust on face. Shadow spins once in the dying neon light.
Well, when the wind tasted like iron and rain, he walked in with dust on his name. Back pew, broke boots, knuckles stained, truth on a chain, shame on a chain. No choir, no match, no spark to start, just night so thick it could swallow a heart.
The camera drips from a crack cross to his hands. Old scars shine like thin wax seams.
He heard the dark say, boy, you're done. He answered, low, I ain't anyone's. He said a candle on a Bible burned thin, pressed his cut thumb down. Let the red run in, it lit without a hand, in the middle of the black, like a wound remembering fire, finding its way back. Throw your knife at him, he'll turn it into spark. The candle lit itself in absolute dark. You can't drown a flame that knows its birth. It sings like steel against this earth. By the door in a coat of smoke, said you won't clean love or a holy choke. He laughed through teeth, sawdust sin. Girl, I want whatever keeps the storm pinned.
He told the mirror, name your price. Mirror said back, pay it twice. He kissed the cross that hung by thread, then whispered, devil deal. God still read.
It lit without a hand, in the middle of the black, like a wound remembering fire, fighting its way back. Throw your knife at him, he'll turn it into spark. The candle lit itself in absolute dark. If grace comes late, he'll hold the mark. Some flames remember their birth in the dark. Oh, last horse broke. If grace comes late, he'll hold the mark. Some flames remember their birth in the dark. Their birth in the dark.
When the sky turned the color wind, no low whiskey and regret. A lightning saying don't say it's good. The door already you ran nothing but mine. When the crows kept singing and the road like gunfire half the time.
Throw me once, I'll fall quiet like sand in a vein.
Throw me twice,
I'll sing back through the pain. You can't hurt what's already learned, a song of flame.
I don't break no more, I just change my name.
I'm the stone
That sang the second time it was thrown.
born to dust.
Carved from what I've known. If God won't answer, I'll hum on my own. 'Cause even damnation got a better tone. Met her where the desert stars, drinking the moon. She said your heart still beats like a jailhouse tune. I laughed, that's fine, long as it keeps time. She kissed me like a sin, and still felt divine. I bled on the stone, drew a circle in dust. Said if I burn with trust. Ain't no priest here, just echoes and bones. But even a sinner can preach when he's alone.
Throw me once,
I'll fall quiet like sand in the vein.
throw me twice.
I'll sing back through the pain. You can't hurt what's already learned, the song of flame. I'll turn your curse into my chains refrain. I'm the stone that sang the second time it was thrown. Rolled through hell, but found my tone. If grace won't come, I'll carve my own. 'Cause silence dies when my scars have grown.
Throw me once, I'll fall quiet like sand in a vein. Throw me twice,
I'll sing back to the pain. You can't hurt what's already learned, the song of flame. I turn your curse into my chains refrain. I'm the stone that sang the second time it was thrown. Rode through hell, but found my tone. If grace won't come, I'll carve my own. 'Cause silence dies where my scars have grown. There's a scar running across my shoulder blade, like the land itself tried to mar what it made. Ain't from no fight, I carved it in drought to let the thunder know what I'm about. The preacher asked, boy, what you bleeding for? I said some folks pray I open door. 'Cause just a whisper in you don't make it loud. My blood speaks best when the skies bowed down. I tore the veil and watched it sew back. My wound turned stitches, my scream rang true. Don't need no heaven, I walk the highway, pain's a thread that sews the sky. Yeah, I bled wide just to hold it tight. Ain't every hurt meant to birth a lie. Chapel floor, left the ash where hope ain't prayed no more. She said, you think love survives that fire? I said, it don't survive, it climbs up higher. I tore the veil and watched it so back blue.
My wound turned stitches, my scream rang true. Don't need no heaven, I walk the highway. Pain's a thread that sews the sky. Yeah, I bled wide just to hold it tight. Ain't every herb meant to birth a light.
So if you see a storm stitched into shade, that was me.
He used to cut clean through bone and vow, left trails of blood like truth somehow. But steel don't sing once it's cracked in half. It hums low now like a monk who laughs. They said you ain't got no fight left, son. Said good, I got light left to run. A blade can blind, but when it's done, it still can glow for the next to come. You held that fire when it turned on you. Now it burns not red but righteous blue. What once drew blood now lights the way. A broken edge that learned to pray. Yeah, you laid it down but never quit. Even wreckage has a place it fits. Instead you lit a path through hell so some fool kid might walk it well. Was that thing ever used in war? Yeah, now it wins something more. A wound don't die just 'cause it's old. It turns to warmth when carried bold. You held that fire when it turned on you. Now it burns not red but righteous blue. What once drew blood now lights the way. A broken edge that learned to pray. You gave your cut, now others climb. You lit the dark with your own spine. So let them walk where you once bled. Your broken sword shines overhead. The dead hour crawled across my back. Ash on my boots, smoke filling the crack. I lit that match in a prayerless hush. Watch my sins rise up in a holy crush. The fire hits. Don't flinch now, boy, burn slow. I didn't scream, didn't beg for the rain. Just stared at the cross through a window pane. Charcoal breath, embers on my tongue. One last hymn from a voice half young. Not heaven's eye. I caught my pass on the chapel floor in blood and soot where I beg no more. A chain on the altar vow I broke. Tattooed pain in the air I spoke. She said love don't die, it just learns to bite. I kissed that flame
a sinner's grin. Let the heat grow under my skin. Didn't ask God for a second chance. I just dance in the devil's stairs. I burn through the night with my shadow tied. Drag my guilt till the sparks could guide. No saints, no peace, just ash and bone. And a voice saying, boy, you're not alone. The sun ain't holy, it's just brave, rising up from a man who stayed.
I woke with dust in my teeth and a crow on my chest. Sky was red like a wound and I hadn't earned rest. Buried my sins where the roots won't reach, but they sprouted in silence, each sermon a leaf. The preacher said, boy, you're a shell with no soul. I smiled and said, that's where gardens grow. I ain't got prayers, just patience with pain. Ain't no redemption that don't come with stains. I carved out the rod, let the hollow ring loud. Planted laughter in a grave I once vowed. If God don't answer, I'll bloom without sound. From bone grew the bloom, and it never bowed. And it never bowed. I saw my face in a whiskey glass fire, hollow eyes grinning like funeral choir. The devil said near, said you're late to be saved. I poured him a drink, said I dug my own grave. This old skull ain't empty, it's just cleared for the sea. And when silence speaks, even dead men bleed. I don't wear halos, I don't kiss rings, but I've danced with guilt and heard stone hearts sing. I called out the rod, let the hollow ring loud. Planted laughter in a grave I once found. If God don't answer, I'll bloom without sound. From bone grew the bloom, and it never bowed, and it never bowed. Yeah, I'm proof a man don't need much left inside to grow something holy where darkness resides. He found that old blunt axe by the dry creek bed. Iron scarred, handle cracked, still humming with old regrets. Dawn wasn't gold, just a pale red smear on the side of a desert chapel leaning from too many years. Folks said it once swung hard enough to cut a man's prayer short, but it walks slow now, like every footstep carried a lost report. Wind scraped dust across his boots, and the axe glowed faint, like it still knew truth. He whispered, Lord, if you got words left, carve them through me grind. And that old axe cut stone instead of skin, etched every sorrow he'd buried within. Rusted steel, rotten grace, he couldn't speak. Tools of harm could still carve the wheat to the meat. He swung at the rock till the daylight bled, shaped a heart from stone for the ghost he led. No shine, no glory, just a man trying to amend, and an outlaw's axe learning how to forgive again. He saw a ghost in the heat ripple air, wild love woman with wildfire stare. She said, "You ain't running, boy, that's new." He spat dust, growled, "I owe too much to move." Night bled blue across a canyon rim, crickets hymn like a choir singing rough for him. He lit a match, let the flame kiss the steel. A ritual burned to prove his will was real. He prayed without praying, just breathe on the cold of sin. If mercy's a shape, let it fit where I've been. And that old axe cut stone instead of skin, etched every sorrow he'd buried within. Rusty steel, rotten grace, he feared to name. A sinner swinging truth instead of blame. Once made for death, learning how to heal again.
He built me out of rust and will, with hands that knew how steel should feel. Didn't need to talk, just to me tight, then walked away into the night. I stayed in that shed through dust and snow, still humming soft like he never let go. I don't move right, my gears don't grind, but I still sing when he crosses my mind. Legacy hums through rust and rain. Ain't no oil, just memory strain. I ain't crying, I just sound like pain. The broken machine still calling his name. He's gone, but I keep the tune, like fire that whistles inside a tomb. He had scripture on my copper plate, said you're born for work, not for fate. But when his breath went cold, one fall, I waited years just to hear him call. Now every storm that shakes these beams feels like him waking up my seams. Asking to be fixed or saved, just let me ring when his name gets brave. Legacy hums through rust and bone, every rattle's a prayer I own. I'm not alive, but I still remain a broken machine, not built in vain. He forged me once, then walked away, but I still sing, and I still stay. tread on thunder, never asked for spring. Midnight stitch crossed the back of his coat, ash on his boots and a psalm in his throat. He grinned, lit a match on a rusted star. He didn't follow fire, he taught it where to burn. He didn't beg the dawn, he made the night turn. He's a blackbird that taught light to fly, ripped through heaven with a smoke ring cry. Didn't preach love, didn't bargain for grace, just bled out truth on the mountain's face. No halo, no him, no him, just thunder in reply. He's the blackbird that taught light to fly. He stood in the chapel, burned out and bold, dropped his cross in the Holy Gold. The mirror whispered, you ain't worth the flame. He smiled back, said neither was his name. He didn't kneel to pray, he carved it in stone. It answers his cry. He's a blackbird that taught light to blind. I lit a fire well, so I was bare. No roots, no shade, just blistered air. Held my breath till my lungs turned gray. Said if God don't come, I'll burn my way. Smoke climbed slow through the crooked sky, and every crow watched like it knew why. I didn't pray, I made a sound like smoke humming deep beneath the ground. Face sound like smoke before it becomes rain, a whisper born from heat and pain. No thunder came when I called his name, just ashes humming through the flame. But when I broke, the sky broke too, and I swear that storm, it finally knew. Black took. Faith sounds like smoke before it becomes rain. No choir song, no holy chain. But I saw the clouds start speaking back in light that cracked the sky in half. I ain't been clean, I ain't been kind, but I burn loud enough for heaven to find. There's a clock in my room that ain't ticked in years. Hands froze stiff, but it's still here. Every breath, every lie, every fight, every I'm fine. Whisper late at night, I won't say it. Time's dead if you don't move. But now I know it still watches you. It don't blink, don't break, don't shine, but even silence can measure time. I've been still, but I've been here, counting every breath that disappears. A broken clock, but I still clock every time I feel another heart. You don't have to move to be awake. Some things stand still just to hold the weight. There's blood in the grooves of the wooden floor, yeah. Name scratched deep behind the closet door. She once said, you don't pray, you stole. I said, some men stay so others don't fall. I kept her locking, burned the bed, but the clock stayed just like I said. God don't speak through hands of brass, but he surely shadows when he walks past. I've been still, but I've been true, counting every storm that passed on through. This dead clock ain't made to shine, it just holds time till it becomes mine. I ain't loud, I ain't clean, but I'm the one you lean on in between. I bury myself in a ditch out back. No preaching, no words, just sky turned black. A rusted cross lay under my spine. I clenched a book that forgot its spine. They said I'd rock with the rest of the wrong, but I felt something hum that don't belong. I ain't moved, but I still burn. The cracks glow cold when the dead return. Heaven leaks through broken earth. Ain't no flowers, just light and dirt. I died in shame, but I rise in glory. Through the cracks where no one thought hope could go. Don't need a bell, don't need a name, just let me shine from what they blame. There's a locket in me I never let burn. Holds her voice and the way she turned. She once asked, you think God keeps score? I said, only when the guilty don't kneel no more. I carved my sins in the coffin lid. Didn't ask to be saved, just not to be hid. I'm not clean, but I'm still light, and ashes hold more fire than the right.
become a throne.
They laid him down, the ground was cracked. No stone, no name, no preacher's act. Sky was bruised, dirt dry as bone, and the only sound was a shovel alone. But the grave didn't close like they thought it might. Whoa, there was something glowing underneath the night. Whoa, he didn't rise, he didn't scream, just burned slow like a holy dream. Heaven leaks through broken earth, ain't no flowers. Heaven leaks through broken earth, ain't no flowers, just a blinding bird. Down cursed, but the ground gave grace. Light bloomed up through his resting place. You don't need wings to start that climb. Some tunes bloom light before their time. Folks said he drank, he lied, he fought, never gave more than what he got. But there was a cross burned into his chest, and a vow he whispered with his final breath: if you see the dark, don't turn and run. Some holes shine brighter than the sun. He weren't a saint, but he stayed and bled. Sometimes light comes from the nearly dead. Heaven leaks through broken earth, no quiet saint, but he still had word. He left no name, no will, no fight, but the tomb he filled bloomed full of light. You don't need saving to leave a mark. Some shine louder, buried in the dark. He ain't the kind they write in songs, just works till dark, holds pain too long. Hammered young and left to rust, still holds that wall, still earns that dust. A cross hung crooked where he stood, bent nail on nail, holding up the wood. They don't praise what don't shine, but he said ain't leaving, the heart is alive. Strength ain't in shine, it's in stay. He don't move though the wind say pray. One nail in a house that forgot his name, but pull it loose and it all caves the same. Yeah, he creaks when the burden grows, but the wall still stands, and the nail still knows. Yeah. Used to dream of things with wings, but dreams don't eat, and hope don't cling. He kissed a girl once behind a bar. She left him love, and he wore
keeps the frame, while the rest forget. Strength ain't in shine, it's in state. He holds fast when the young drift away. One nail in the wall, silent and small, but he's the reason it don't fall. Rust and rain don't make him quit, he just digs in deeper and carries it.
When a low dust light, wind moves ash across old stone. I buried my blade where the blood ran thin, right under that cross where the fight had been. The handle cracked like a jaw that prayed, and I heard God call through the smoke and shade. The wind said, "You done?" I said, "Not quite. There's still one wall left, and it ain't in the night." I lit the edge with oil and flame, ain't for killing now, it shows the way. What once drew blood now draws light, a broken thing still burning bright. I ain't a savior, just it's time for the next poor soul walking that line. My hand don't swing, but it still holds fire. This sword's a lamb hung on barbed wire. Shadow's name said, "You used to cut, now you just flame." I smile with teeth like rusted steel, said, "Hurting don't heal unless you learn to kneel." I clean the blood with desert dust, roll my sins in glass, then let them bust. The blade still sings when the wind leans in, but the song now ends where peace begins. What once drew blood now draws light, hung it high above the edge of night. For every man that's torn in half, I walk ahead, I hold the path. I ain't clean, I ain't pure, but I burn with something that might endure. This sword don't kill, it calls a dawn. And the war I fight it